Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel in the month of May of 2025. Today actually is the last day, so this month will be over very soon. Very challenging, of course, transformational work, right? It's ongoing. That thing is extremely important. For the disclosure, exposing the wrongdoings, for the ascension, for the transition to the next octave, be inner sustained, inner directed, right? Strengthening that inner core, being in our heart. Chanting, breathing, just focusing on also on our mission and being in the present moment. Being in the present moment is extremely very important. Being here and being in the now, being in the know. So that's why again we'll be expanding on the Kabbalah tree of life. Very important for my soul group, for that lineage, right? The Melchizedek, the Hibiru, okay. What is it? Mossad. What is the Mossad Jewish again? Words are words. Energy is energy, right? You can flip words, but you know, with energy, when you read energies, to me, it's so important to read things on that energy level, archetypal level, even on celestial level, because you know we are multidimensional, and also we are dealing with dimensional realms as well, extra dimensionals, right? So etheric DNA, we're sound, light, frequency, vibration. We are 99.9% energy, and here we're aligning ourselves and our chakras, right, with unity, with Christos, SOPHIA consciousness, and walking with Christ, and aligning also with the law of one, the universal laws, implementing the Galactic Codex, and we are transmuting the universal shadow, because we've been here dealing with galactic wars here in this 3D matrix of computer simulation of the Archons, right? The Orion group, the Chimera group, the negative aliens with their agenda to destroy the DNA of the angelic divine luminous race, right? To destroy our consciousness, constantly overriding our consciousness, and creating also cyborgs or transhumans, transgenders out of us, right? And all this eugenics and all these massacre, and you know, their narratives, right? Their propaganda, all these black ops been happening for a long time. But you know, we have the plasma frequency is coming online. We have the higher heart, the crystal heart activation as well, right? The emerald order is coming online, the cosmic order, you know. It is important here with a cosmic sovereign law made manifest, okay? So yeah, the inner work, okay, the energy is on energetic synthesis, crystal ages, hieros gamos, right? The sacred union, inner balance, so important, right? The soul union, that's why, you know, my soul group, I'm doing it because they're the military, the Marines, you know, the MC, under MIC, under DARPA, right? That's why we talk about, we're going to talk about here the imposter Elohim group, the Kabbalistic demonology, the Black Tree of Life, scrambling DNA language, and the Ezekiel's curse of Yahweh. Okay, and unfortunately how the teachings of the Rosicrucians, right, of the Rosicrucians, of Kabbalah, how that was distorted, and also Freemasonry, how that was distorted via the Pythagorean teachings, right? Everything starts with like purity, with good intention, good intent, even the Illuminati in Bavaria, right? But unfortunately, the Black Sun entities, I mean, like I said, the Alpha Draconis, I mean, the Zetas, the Greys, the hybrid Anunnaki from Sirius A or from Nibiru, right? Been hybridized, and they are worshiping Satan, all this Moloch, right, Baal, and so on, how they distort the teachings of the Emerald Order, right, the Emerald Order guardians, the distorting teachings of the Ascended Masters, and of course of the Rishis, Yogi Rishis of the Himalayan mountains. And we are here to correct everything, bring everything right side up, And we are coming up with a project, right? Rehabilitation for my soul group to bring peace, harmony, unity, Christos, SOPHIA consciousness here back online. And so it's going to be SEMPER, FIDELIS, SPIRITUS, SANCTUS instead of Mafia, Diablo, right? Christos, SOPHIA, Maria, Magdalena, FATIMA, ROSA, MYSTICA, right? Because my soul group, also the Rosicrucians, the Pleiadians, right? They were turned into Satanists and into black magicians and into terrorists and into digital avatars, right? Then walking AI on a battlefield in the Middle East and wreaking havoc and involved in horrible crimes. But that's how they were groomed, by the elite, right? By Hydra, by DARPA, right? Yeah, the hybrid Anunnaki here. So anyway, you have to read energies. Words are not enough here. And even though here we represent the physical body, right, the elemental structure, we are sacred geometry, we are sound, light, frequency, vibration, and so important to tune into our heart and doing the shadow work, the inner work, dismantling the negative ego, right? So we can see via third eye, right? And that's why detoxing, decalcification of the pineal gland, everything's on the Ascension 12D protocol from Guardians, okay? And also Lisa Renee, she downloaded the information from the Guardians, okay? It's on energetic synthesis, Heroes, Gamos, crystal ages, okay? So everything's been handing down here from extremely high places and dimensions. Also, we're the volunteer souls incarnating to these family bloodlines, okay? These are, whether it's the Pleiadians or the Essenes, right? The Rosicrucians, we've been reptilianized, draconized, So we're like the angelic luminous rays, right? The Oraphine merged with Nephilim and reptilians here. So now we have to transmute all that, right? We come here to this earthly pain, earthly plane with full of pain, having human experience. We are diving here. We had to go into the darkness to transmute it, see what in the world is happening, detect everything, analyze everything, and bring everything into divine wholeness, unity, and into truth. Okay, so yeah, we have to kind of transform all this violence here, and we are the violet flame of invocation. Very important, right? Very important. Let me see, I didn't want to talk about it, but yeah, that's part of the how the negative aliens, the AI, the hologram, they're playing with our mind, and it's time for us to be playful, okay? And time to actually free ourselves from all these MK Ultra, from the negative ego, from that mind control, right? So just being kind of fluid, very important, and relabeling things, reattributing things, refocusing, revaluing, and so on, and requesting help from the divine, okay? Because everything's been set in those extremely high places and high dimensions, and so we can heal ourselves, heal from that secret space program, all this military abduction, all this cloning, right? All these horrible experimentations, the genetic modification, the patented viruses, okay? I talk about it, right? Who is responsible there, and how we've been here weaponized and hybridized, and that's why my soul group, right, and especially in the military, all these, there are drugs, alcohol, steroids, adrenochrome, right? They went through SRA, satanic ritual abuse, violence, torture, and so on, to hinder, right, the ascension. Because the SSP, those negative aliens and DARPA, the Anunnaki, whatever, they just want ascension manipulation. They want a false spiritual activation through SSP, hidden intelligence controllers, right? So guys, and they've been manipulating our timelines, and like I said, everything that was presented to us, this is not who we are. This is not what we represent. And so reading the energies is extremely important. And of course, my soul group ended up in the fallen tree of life. Yeah. So it's very sad with all these tears and holes in their aura energy field. The Merkaba or the cataract rate being tilted, right? Disconnected from Mother Earth, Mother Nature, electrostatic bodies. Okay. So this is at least for partial ascension. So the project is very important. The rehabilitation via bioregenesis, right? So this is not under Galactic Codex. This is under the law of one. Okay. Yeah, the Chimera group is responsible for that. The Chimera group, those are the arachnoids there. Because those guys through rape, right? Their microcosmic orbit is being inverted, perverted, right? So this is the proper channeling of your microcosmic orbit. Okay, so for inhalation, this is the divine masculine. That's the red wave coming online, the back of your spine, right? Up over your head, and this is your divine feminine going down. Okay, this is on exhalation, right? So start practicing breath work, breathing, the proper channeling of your energies. This is the electromagnetic field, right? The divine masculine with the divine feminine. Here we are dealing with morphogenetic field. That's your galactivation, and that's your avatar self, that's your solar logos, that's your cosmic monad. Okay, so this is how important. I mean, that's why the star seeds are here, the volunteer souls are here, the divine architects, right? The solar Rishi consciousness, it's all here, it's coming online. How important that is to embody that within our bodies, because the distortion in our light bodies and what was done via the SSP and all these horrible experimentations and through torture and through SRA and Kabbalistic demonology is unfathomable, right? So we're the ground crew, the Ashtar Galactic Command is all going to divine justice, and justice will be served. That's why we talk about it, okay? Very important. And the anti-hero gamos, anti-hero technology, all these satellites, and the black cube technology, right? Very important on moon, right? The false magnetism, and they even implanted black cube here on the core Mother Earth, right? On Earth, and of course they're blocking us from the sun. And then why we call it the red trident, right? It's just that this is, you know, they move the orbit of our planets, right? Of the entire solar system, right? And this is how they hijack the other planets, the Mars, the Saturn. Yeah, there are all these Kabbalistic demonology and all this blood sacrifice they're happening, and even Pluto, right? So yeah, that's we're dealing with negative aliens with their highly advanced AI, and this is what is happening when the AI gets so advanced, then right, those entities don't embody empathy. They don't embody their soul. They're disconnected from God, from source, and they are hooked to the hive mind via Nazi Neuralink, and that was done to my cell group, right? And very difficult now to either communicate or contact, right? And so on. Like, it's very complex, very difficult. Okay, and of course I have hybrid children, right? The agreement also with Zetas coming here with the Rishi agreement. So it's extremely complex. So the ET disclosure is imminent, is very important, and we are moving forward, and the ascension is guaranteed. Okay, and so let me see what else, because we here ended up in this 10D Draco hologram, right? So instead of here, we have to revive, resurrect the tree of life, right? Like this, right? And for that, right, it's very important to do the inner work, because like I said, our chakras, aura, energy field, our consciousness, our emotional body, our mental body, and everything's been distorted, inverted, upside down, poisoned, okay? And we've been hearing then computer stimulation and just kind of walking like zombies and robots here. And all this enslavement, we've been here in a prison planet, quarantine zone. And so this is all canceling, this is all collapsing and dissolving, right? And that's why the transformational work, the inner work, the healing work is so important. I have a project, rehabilitation project, right? For DARPA. That's the Heros Gamos here. Okay, the 7 crystal, that's the crystal tones, original crystal tones of creation, Ka Raya Sata Allah, right? So here's the project. Okay, everything is again via as energetic synthesis. I mean, Lisa Renee, right? It's on Creative Commons, all these contracts and agreements, you know, disclaimer and everything, right? So, you know, you can start your own evolution, your own healing process. So it's all, you know, commitment to the divine, right? From darkness back to light. It has to be, you know, well, confession, has to be repentance, right? And turning back to light. So we have to acknowledge everything what happened, what was done to us, even without informed consent, right? I had to experience what my soul group experienced, right? And this whole black magic with the black magicians there. So we know who is doing it, how it's being done. We are extremely high advanced AI, black hole technology, right? These black hole entities, the Belial group, the Black Sun, regressive, Alpha Draconis, Orion group with Chimera group, right? So again, you have to read the energies. I'm repeating all that because more of these energies are being amplified. It's coming to the surface. We really have to recognize it for what it is. And we have to return back to light. This is our divine purpose, going back to God, to source, okay? And just really understanding, feeling, and knowing our true nature, who we truly are, creating with the divine, right? That's the Emerald Order, Emerald Covenant. This is the loving co-creation with the divine under the law of one with free will. And so, yeah, healing, very important part of it is the antidote to mind control is psycho-emotional centering, right? So everything is on whether Ascension Glossary or Lisa Renee, right? Energetic synthesis, and this is a process of self-transformation from black ops back to God, back to source, back to my true self, right? And being yogi, yogini here, was turned into digital avatar. So I can understand my soul group, right? Was turned into terrorist. I look like a Marine. So there are surgeries that is happening in the astral plane via zetas, via grace, okay? And of course, we've been hybridized here. They changed my mitochondria, changed my DNA, RNA, and what in the world, right? So there's been an experiment, what an experiment, and we have to end the cycle of that terrorism, of that Nazism, right, of that Zionism, of that black magic, of that Satanism, Luciferianism, right? So, and the soul binding, right? The blood covenant. So that all needs to drop, this whole Luciferian covenant or Luciferian rebellion, okay? So, the whole jihad thing, and you know, there's so much misunderstanding also with the red shield, or you know, these coat of arms, these royalty, the nobility lineages, especially from Pleiades, right? Also connected to Lyra, the Stargate D12 Aramathena. That's why everything has to be 12, 12, 12, 12, tree of life, 12 strands of DNA, 12 dimensions, 12 bodies. And here slowly you can learn how the consciousness moves through time and space, right? And you know, it's just kind of contemplating about it. Very important. The cosmology, the ascension, the mechanics, right? Exopolitics, agenda of those negative aliens, right? So, and we are correcting everything, right? Everything that's been the consciousness. I mean, we've been here really demonized, weaponized, desecrated, and dumbed down for a long time. So we are the correction team. I understand so many people don't want to hear this, nothing to do with it, being constantly corrected, right? I mean, here, this is spiritual boot camp. Somebody's got to do this. Somebody needs to break through. And so let's go back to what I mentioned, right? We talk about the Kabbalah tree of life, the artificial tree of life, the Yahweh collective. And now let's talk about the imposter Elohim group. They digressed into the control of the alien hybridization agendas with the invading negative alien group of Belial entities and Thotian Luciferians, and became integrated with the fallen AI hybridized entities that serve the Luciferian covenant. The Elohim references that are made in Torah, Talmud, and in esoteric Kabbalah teachings in the Jewish religion are sourced from the fallen Elohim hybrids, integrated with Belial and Luciferian factions that gave the artificial tree of life, or base 10. That's the base 10 mathematics, right? So in running reversals. And that was the base 10 math Sephirot teachings to the Semitic races in the Middle East, right? So I remember, you know, Hebrew, the Essene tribes, right? All these hybridization there happening, mixed with the Khazars, right? The nomadic kind of Turkish races, and also merged with the Nazi, like the Nazi Jewish and so on, and the Red King, the Red Trident, or I'm sorry, the Red Rose, or the Rosicrucians, and the Red Shield, how they also were hybridized and attacked and reptilianized and draconized and turned into black magic, okay, into sodomy, into that dark occult. Aleister Crowley, OTO, the Ordo Templi Orientis. So understand the words, right? The teachings and so on, but you have to meditate. You have to, you know, raise your frequency vibration, very important, so you can get the downloads from your soul, from your oversoul, that's your monad, and to become the Christos avatar, the Christos Essene Templars. Okay. So yeah, we're resurrecting, of course, the law of one, right? The true Melchizedek order Yahshua belonged to, right? Talk about Yahshua last time. So this was information warfare in order to confound original angelic human language, to suppress the solar feminine, especially in the military, right? Replace the original cosmic Christos dragon teachings that were protected by the remaining Hyperboreans, right? That's what was left over after Atlantis collapsed. And that came to Earth after Gaia and Gaia wars. We talk about the electric wars, the galactic wars, happening for a long time. So the remaining Hyperboreans that came to the planet Earth to serve the Christos mission are the Celtic, Druid, Grail bloodlines, or Celtic Essenes, right? That's why they were so massacred. They were abused, violated, and also weaponized and draconized and reptilianized, hybridized, force breeding. Okay, they were hunted down, massacred by these fallen Elohim groups, right? And during the Hyksos king invasion in the Middle East, in order for them to act as the impostor overlords of the so-called chosen people of the God of Israel, right? To oversee the seeding and indoctrination of this new Antichrist alien religion. See how this is all, you know, is convoluted. It's very difficult to understand. I understand that. But, you know, it all started back then, millions of years ago, right? The Elohim, all this convolution there happening, then fighting with the Dracos, the Alpha Dracones, the reptilians right there in the middle, right? And then, of course, how the Elohim, they turn into those fallen Elohim, the Anu Elohim, and then the hybrid Anunnaki, the fallen angelics, all these hybrids everywhere, right? They also connected with the Wisa system, the Wisa deck, Wisa drag, the Omicrons, Necromitons. Did you know how complex that is, how difficult it is? And so, and now, right, how they also totally distorted the teachings of the Essene, the Hebrew tribe, the tribes of the angelic divine luminous races, okay, distorted it, inverted it, perverted it, and made it something that is not, that is of not true nature. It's antichrist, anti-life, anti-human, is the alien religion. And the Kabbalistic demonology, the Luciferian sects, the Luciferian Knights Templars combined their interpretation of Gnostic mysteries with Kabbalah, with Kabbalistic demonology, to be translated into the opposing path of mystical Catharism, in which they could achieve a magical practice or sorcery. So again, the Cathara creed, right? They distorted They distorted the Katara grid, right, through the black magic of the red cube technology, running reversal, sodomy, right? Everything is upside down, right? So then we cannot move forward with ascension, but that's why we are splitting, or trifurcation of consciousness is happening right here, right now. So it's all about raising your frequency vibration, very important, right? Working on yourself and so on. So, but that's what it is. They distorted the teachings of the ancient ones, okay, the negative aliens, okay? And that's why now there's so much confusion, there's so much chaos. Also, right, very important, like these are the Christos ST lineages. King Arthur is coming back online, right? That's the Ruby Sun DNA, how that was manipulated, distorted, right, into sodomy, the red wave frequency, the AI, right? The false alien gods and so on. So very important, right, to understand the true history, because it comes from cosmos. Lyra, Stargate D12, Aromathena, millions, billions of years ago, okay? So we are resurrecting as also, so this is the Cosmic Fathers, Ruby, Templar, 40 AD, 48 dimension. And so the Cosmic Fathers Shield, 15 dimension, guys. So this, we work with Rishi consciousness, okay? Rishi consciousness, and it's that's the base 12 mathematics. So 12, 24, the double was got the double diamond sun DNA, and also the triple, the 36D. That's actually also referred to the cosmic cube, right? The New Jerusalem and so on, right? And we have the new also the new golden Christ Templar. Okay, let me see. I'm telling you, I mean, things are happening. Oh, this is the, yeah. So the new symbology, the new architecture is coming online. Okay, this is, so we have the new Katara grid, right? For the angelic divine luminous rays. Okay, and of course, including my soul group and so on. And this is the Trichestra, the Celtic symbol. That's the encircled Trinity. Okay, it's the universal threefold founder flame. It represents natural cycles of Mother Earth, the beginning and end in time. And it represents the interconnectedness within unity, right? And this is your spiritual protection, guys. Trinity structure, based on mathematics, right? Very important. Again, essential glossary. This is actually her latest newsletter. So, energetic synthesis. Okay? So the work has been done in those extremely hard places. It's all sprinkling down here. It's all about tuning in. That's why we're teaching all that. Right? I'm doing these representations here, doing my best. And a little bit, I still have to go to work, pay for my room, for rent. Right? So still here being among people, doing our best. So walking with Christ, right? And then of course, leave the rest. I mean, we have to also surrender to what is, right? We still have our human experience, but you know, with these energies, I mean, very important to actually managing our energies, being self-realized, as self-actualized, right? The responsibilities is pretty much huge, right? Being inner sustained, inner directed, but we have the protection from Solar Christ Archangel Michael as we are ending those wars between these Antichrist forces and the Soul Christ Archangel Michael, the Cosmic Christos Guardians of the Emerald Order, the Gold Order, the Amethyst Order, right? That's why, you know, also protection or invocation of the Violet Flame, being the Violet Flame in action, right? So important. Healing your body, mind, and soul. Because being soul and body, that's why the soul retrievals, right? Soul reunion. Soul reconnection. We are on SOS missions. Save our soul for my soul group. For those Pleiadians, right? They have, you know, Nazi DNA or reversals in their DNA who joined military. You know, they thought they're Marines fighting for the country, defending the Constitution of 1776, and they get raped. They get all these CCP jabs, all this venom, right? Hooked to the internet of all things, right? The black magic grid, right? And, you know, and controlled by the Chimera group, the Orion group, right? And they become terrorists. And they're, you know, involved in horrible crimes. They are put to death or put to prison, put to hospital. They are on the street. Veterans, right? What in the world is happening, right? I noticed it right away, a long time ago. The black goo, right? Just the black aura energy field around them, entities, possession. I saw it right away. What in the world is happening? What this is all about? And look what was then done to me, introducing yoga, Ayurveda to military, men in black, backlash, all this terrorism, all this astral slavery, all this hijacking my consciousness, right? My labs, military abduction, DARPA, secret space program, right? All these horrible experimentations. I also lost track of time. I don't know what happened to me in a hospital, in mental health, right? How I was brutally abused there, put on medication. And I'm still here alive, right? Doing those projects, working, right? Even physically, right? So I would like to also see some contact for military responsibility, right? Covering my physical or financial expenses, huh? So I can connect with my soul group because they need lots of healing. They need compassion. I understand I have to be, positive with them, but they're on drugs. They're on alcohol. They're on steroids. They have possessions. Look at their aura energy field. I saw that. 2008, 2000 horrible things are happening. 2006, 2000, 18, 17 years ago. Okay, so that's why we need to time to move forward, right? Time to eternal now plus my body, embodying these plasma energies, activating etheric DNA, but yet the shadow is coming online, right? The shadow work is so important, right? There's cleansing, clearing, purification of our chakra, energy field, right? Of our aura, of our mind, because the astral slavery is huge. Okay, and the fragmentation, the mind compartmentalization, right? The soul fracturing. That's why they are psychopaths or dissociative. They don't know how to channel energies, right? The black goo, they're in electrostatic bodies. They're in the fallen tree of life. This is the fallen tree. Actually, is like a death culture, the death culture. This is, because I deal with light body, I deal with energies, right? This is like you have a physical surgeon, like physical MD, right? All these arteries and veins and all these organs and all these tissues, ligaments, right? You have to understand all that. So the same thing we do on the energy astral plane or etheric plane, the same thing, right? So first is energy and then it's the physical world. So what's going on with the Kabbalistic demonology here? Once the Gnostic mysteries were interpreted and then inverted into black magic ritual practices of rigorous debauchery and defilement, nothing was regarded as illicit. So that's why all this immorality, right? And those negative aliens, they want to achieve immortality via my soul group being totally in immortality. Where are the virtues? Where's the discipline? Where's the warriors in Christ? Where are those Christos Templars? Where is it? Where is what the white magic of the miracle, walking with Christ? You have to heal yourself, heal your body, your aura, your energy signature, your sacred geometry, your DNA, your RNA, your divine feminine, divine masculine merging together, right? The hieros gamos, soul union, reunion, very important, and purifying your mind and getting rid of the crucifixion implants, because Jesus, that's not even his name, didn't die on a cross for your sins. He did not. He ascended. Okay, there are 3 Christ, 3 Yeshuas. You can also Google that on Ascension Glossary. And remember, only the truth will set you free. Only the truth. Know yourself and be free. I'm in this world, but not of it, right? So that's why inner work is so important. And so any perverted action that violated others was considered acceptable and hence established the very nature of their Luciferian cult belief systems and religion as practiced through the Knights Templar or related secret society. So raping, right? All this bullying, hazing, okay, sodomy, black magic, voodoo, the Red Queen satellite, or you had these the witches there, the witch hunt, and so on, right? Of that negative faction. So it's all going to divine justice. So through the choice of perverted actions, intentionally evoking spiritually abusive behaviors during black magic rituals, eyes wide shut, or the elite parties and the Hollywood, right? And so what's happening there? You want to be famous, glorious, whether in the military or as being a porn star, and so on, right? So this is, you have to go through all this horror, terror, and doing things that are not natural to angelic, divine, luminous rays. And also there's this what is the disclosure, these labs there, the laboratories where even the actors, right, how they were genetically modified, or how what is it, all this cloning happening. It happened 16 years ago. The Disney is doing all that. That's why I was wondering, how come all these young kids or these actors, everything has to be perfect, you know, even their eyelashes, their hair, because they all been either cloned or groomed, or, you know, genetically engineered, all these kind of plastic surgeries. This is not normal. I didn't grow up like that. Thanks be to God. This allows the lower astral forces to be evoked where the physical vessel of a human being or the group ritualists are open to being possessed or attached by lower dark spirits. Command your space. Claim your power back, right? Resurrect all your energies. Get behind me, Satan. Huh? And ask Solar Christ Archangel Michael with the Excalibur, right? The blue flame sword, right? To cut those soul bindings. Free yourself from that blood covenant, from that astral slavery. Repent, right? Confession, and going back to God, going back to source, right? Call upon your soul. SOS. Save our soul. How that is so important. And be again attuned to Christ energies. Listen to solfeggio tones, right? Healing music, you know, 432 hertz, right? PTSD time to heal, okay? Detoxing, organic fruits and vegetables, being in nature, in the garden, hug a tree, okay? Jump into the ocean and breathe. Listen to the sound of the ocean, of the waves, and just enjoy and bathing on the sun. It's interesting how even at work I hear young generation, even older generation, I cannot stand the sun, and especially when I'm eating, guess what they're eating? They still go to McDonald's. I mean, and that's a young generation. Some of them are more aware or less aware, but you cannot say much because, again, you know, the AI kicks in, the entities kicks in, the mind control is so huge. And so you just have to learn how to navigate through all this stuff. And so these dark spirits operate in hierarchy and are interested in power and control. Why everybody's so interested in power and control on the outside, control over others, and how to, you know, pervert others, how to beat somebody, instead of work on yourself, love yourself, forgive yourself, be compassionate, and achieve self-mastery via yoga, Ayurveda, martial art, Reiki, Tai Chi, or Qigong. Yeah. So diving deep within, right? Instead of projecting the shadow out there, let's go ahead and start focusing, okay? And connecting to that divine spark within that sacred chamber of our heart. There's an altar you can go each and every day and meditate, ask for help, and reconnect with your holy parents, cosmic parents, with your Father, Mother, God. So, and that's the more powerful the person is on the earth, the more powerful the NA representative or prince of hell from the Ars Geta demons would be, to use that human body as a dark portal through which to carry out their agendas. So look at the portal, look at the energies, look at the body, look what was done to them. What is in these interesting jets? You know, the Internet of all things. We talk about the intercorporeal wireless network of nanobots of the communication. Okay. So some of these satanists, they still conjure the Ars Geta demon for possession of their light body. Yeah, we talk about the light body. And the SSP, the Secret Space Program, they can clone your light body and insert it in somebody else's energy field. And that's why so many people, they think they have their twin flame. Wow, is it? Is it your genetic equal? That's why the inner work, transformation work, the Hieros Gamos, the Crystal Ages, the 12D shielding, the Unity Vow. Take a deep breath, pause, and meditate is so important. And so it should be fully understood that the state of possession in consciousness slavery, which includes mental bondage and blood covenants to serve demonic hierarchies, as well as soul bindings made to the material reality in time. Right? You have to return to rightful honor. And also how to free yourself. There's the command, free yourself from that Moloch tank. Everything is on Essential Glossary and on that self-transformation process from Black Ops back to God. Black Tree of Life, those are the Metatronic reversals. Connect to Metatronic implants in the shadow body or negative form that are designed to reverse and drain life force out of the earth body and the human body. Protect your aura, protect your energy field, take care of your body, Epsom salt. And doing the shadow work is so important that because the shadow body then controls you. Your addictions control you. The AI then controls you. That's why the shadow body or negative form must be cleared from the human light body in order to reconnect the ascending potential of the 12-dimensional template of the human body. This unnatural configuration, the base 10 Metatronic, right, the Black Tree of Life, was built by the negative aliens via alien machinery or the beast machine that uses artificial intelligence, right, based on mathematics, running reversals, right? It's with the black goo, the Anubis heart is anti-life, anti-Christ, anti-human is the black magic, is mind control sorcery, to parasite the earth's light force to achieve immortality. And this organized structure is referred to as the tree of artificial life or the Black Tree of Life. And that's how, you know, also our DNA is being scrambled, right? And so and they are damaging the divine feminine, the Sophionic body with the elements, right? The platonic solids, what we talk about, the earth, the water, the fire, the air, the space, right? That's why in India, like when you eat with your hands, you activate your elementals, right? And the Aurora eclipse is happening, right? The Aurora, the crystal star family in Andromeda, they're hosting this ascension. So being outside in nature, hugging a tree or the leaves, the grass, the ocean, the mountains, the valleys, you buy yourself flowers, right? Surround yourself with crystals, right? Light a candle, listen to some relaxation music, okay? And find yourself in bliss because these energies are here. And yeah, dropping the ego, right? Releasing the negativity, right? And also free yourself from those alien implants, alien mind control, reclaim your Christos body, reclamation of Christos body, right? This is, everything is on my material or essential glossary, energetic synthesis, Hieros Gamos, Crystal Ages, guys. The time is now to stand in your power, to be who you are, right? To remember your true nature, remember your mission, and be of service, right? Be the change you want to see in the world. Many blessings. Namaste. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.